I'm gonna tell you about as we go on throughout the episode. But there was one fight that happened a few weeks ago, and we want to just touch on it a little bit because there was a lot of speculation going into the fight. Then a lot happened during the fight. Then even much more happened after the fight. So it's kind of like you would have thought this was a Floyd fight the way all this was happening, man. So we're gonna touch on it right now and talk about Ryan versus Haney versus the PEDs, then versus social media. After
Oh,
what?
that's a lie.
Yeah, it is. It is. So after April 22nd, man, it's kind of like filling out your taxes, man. So if you're an entrepreneur, you already know what it is when you got to fill out those W-9s, W-4s, anything with the IRS. That's all I'm gonna say. After the shocking victory that Garcia got over Devin Haney on April 22nd, shortly after that, it was reported that he tested positive for some PEDs. And we really gonna really just jump into it. Like Haney was upset. He did. Well, we already know what Bill did. Bill went on IG Live. He went smack at Floyd. Then, then Devin went on ESPN. He did a personal Sports Center interview. I don't know when
The
that
interview,
happened.
yeah.
I don't know what's going on with that. But then Ryan Garcia, he went over to Boulder, Colorado. He doing skits on IG. He having the time of his life. So I'm actually like this. After watching that fight and seeing the way it went down, do you think the steroid allegations matter?
So my opinion about that is, I think it. I've got mixed feelings about it because we don't know if it's factual, so I can't really say this is really true. And another thing is, what I do know that's factual is that the lack of preparation for Haney. Being knocked down 3 times was with the same move. It was a left in the seventh, a left in the 10th, and I think it was a left in the left in the 11th. And all those added up to knockdowns. So I think it still wouldn't matter if you still got hit with the same punch, if that makes sense. Like, it wouldn't really matter with all the allegations that's going on with Ryan Garcia, and now everybody, a scientist, want dissect the results that they see, and they just, some of the people just only see positive and just going off of that. Like, I feel like it's one of them things that VADA should have a spokesperson to come out and speak on these type of things instead of letting the fighters just be out here just throwing that information out here and letting people take their own opinion and run with stuff like that, because boxing is a very dangerous sport. And if this is true, because you can't play boxing. If this is true, I am very I would be very say upset with Ryan on that, based on these fighting competitions where you put your life on the line. So I think without it, without the allegation, Devin still lost terribly, very terribly. Like, and even with the allegations, and based on him, keep getting hit with the same hit, I'm like, you still lost. Like, you still lost because I don't know what the steroid or the the substance supposed to do for Ryan, but Ryan did his thing in the ring. Like, that's one thing I can't say that he didn't do. He did do his thing. So with the
Um,
allegation, what you think? What you think? Do you think he needed steroids to fight Haney?
I wanted to more so just hear your aspect on it because I know recently they said that he got cleared of one of the I think he got cleared of the PEDs, but they're still testing for the ostarine. I ain't a doctor, so if I botch that, it is what it is. Shout out to
Ostrich.
Tay. Yeah, I guess he out there trying to get boots. It is what it is. But look, shout out to Tay. I mean, yeah, he got cleared for one, but him and his lawyer they trying to fight for the other one. At the end of the day, I mean, the only thing the steroid could have did was actually get him back in the ring because, bruh, I picked Haney because technically in the beginning I picked Ryan Garcia because I don't really trust Haney that much after watching the Loma fight. But then Ryan Garcia started doing all these antics, and it was kind of like, man, you're not taking it serious. And I know Haney is the better boxer of the two, so he's gonna win. The next thing you know, they get out there and he got hit with the one punch that everybody keeps talking about, that left. If you know about this left, and Bill know about this left, we know about this left. How you get hit with it in the first round? And
Yeah, it
then
got
he's talking about,
days.
yeah, then he's talking about I was surprised by it. What do you mean? What do you mean? Drewski voice. Like, you should have been prepared. And then after that, he kind of gathered himself in the rounds after that. I would say 2 through 5. But then after that, you got hit again. So basically, you kind of got outboxed with the ugly shoulder roll. Like this was
Yeah.
so ugly.
With the back turn, with the back turn
Yeah,
shoulder roll.
it got so
He gave
bad.
you his tail to kiss.
Exactly, exactly. Then you hitting his ribs, and it's like it's not affecting him because that was about that same area where Tank hit him, and he was like, "I don't want to fight no more." He turned into Martin. I don't want to fight no more. I don't want to fight, and that's what happened. So I don't think the PEDs had anything to do with the actual boxing of it. It may have gave him a little bit more power, just a tad bit, but everybody said Ryan already had power before that. So all
Yeah,
it
that's
did was
facts.
just add a little to the punch already. So I mean, going into that, do you think a rematch should happen?
For that, so this is the thing. I think if there was a rematch, I think Ryan still has to earn that go back to a rematch. The only reason I say that is because he came in 3 pounds over. Like, what are you competing for? What you get this? Why you trying to create a scenery of something like the fight of the year and you don't want to compete for the belts and take the belts from him? That would have did way more damage along with what's going on now if you would have some belts on your shoulder right now. You get what I'm saying?
That's a
So
fact.
I I think since he got all the allegations and he put that dramatic episode, I still think that he should, go through the proper protocol, trying to earn his way back to at least try to go get the belts, somebody belts. But if he don't want to fight for the belts, I'm fine with that too. But because especially in today's time, it's not a lot of the top fighters are not chasing the belts. They,
Nah,
it's more so the money.
they're chasing the pay per views. You are right about that one. For me, he already know Ryan Garcia gonna be cocky with it. He's like rematch. Why would I give him a rematch? I beat him already, and then they waited 3 weeks to say something about PEDs. Like this don't even make sense. So for me, I wouldn't watch it, even if it does happen. I'm lying. I would watch it. I would definitely watch it because I want to see what Devin Haney gonna do. Because I don't know, Rick. I
I
don't
be
know,
thinking
Rick.
so. This is what I'm thinking. So
I
can
don't know, Rick. Garcia gonna do that all over again. But go
you
ahead.
think so?
I think he gonna do the antics again, and it's gonna be like, come on, bruh. And
See,
Haney gonna be more serious. It ain't gonna be fun.
and Ryan. I know Ryan feel good about himself because Ryan also, kind of from what rumor is that he owned them in the amateurs as well. So this is like it's like okay, I don't need to fight you no more unless you have something I want.
I mean, he do got something he want though. At the end of the day, he do. I think Ryan do want the belt. At the end of the day, I do think he wants the belt. I think in this moment, because of the antics, something happened behind the scenes that we're not aware of. And at some point, Ryan gonna do an IG live and tell us outside of him seeing the Bohemian stuff. He gonna tell us what happened that made him just switch because I think he still wants to fight Tank. And you know what? Let's do this because it just hit me. And I'm glad we
Okay.
having this open discourse. This is a boxing show. We feel like we in the barbershop just a little bit. I think after Garcia lost that first match, he doesn't care about losing anymore. So now he's fighting with house money. And everyone that he goes up against that has that O on their record, he feels like he can beat them. And even if he does lose, he could just move on to the next big fight. Because what was the talk about it after this? That he's now the face of boxing after one fight. And it's really because of the antics. But he is the money grab now. So he can go fight a Shakur, probably win or lose. I know Tay gonna say something about that in the comments in just a second. He can probably try to go fight a Tank again. He can go. He can. The plethora is golden corral for him at this point with his opponents if they really want to fight him. When it comes to Devin Haney, he has more to prove to me as a boxer outside of him winning the undisputed titles. But in the last 4 or 5 fights that I've seen from him, he just doesn't look like the fighter that everyone says he is. The Loma fight, it was very questionable. He bounced back on the second one. Then you lose to Ryan. So as far as a rematch, I wouldn't want to see him fight Ryan Garcia no more. That chapter's done. You got your belt. Move on.
Now, I would prefer it to be later and let Ryan either get a belt to bring something to the table, or they both go up and weight again. They have to see each other again. But knowing that for Ryan, let's get off Ryan a little bit. What do you think should Haney do next? Do you think Haney should continue to chase these belts? Do you think he should try to get that rematch before he do anything else? Fight is mandatory. What do you think in your opinion?
Man, it's kind of like what Rick Ross did with 50 Cent. You gotta chase the hits, man. Just chase the belts, regardless of what's going on in this moment, because you shouldn't have lost to Ryan Garcia, but you gotta chase the belts, in my opinion. And what his father's doing on Instagram, going at Floyd, the back and forth between them, y'all gotta prove that you're not the laughing stock of boxing at this point. To lose to Ryan Garcia the way that he lost, like Ryan put pause on him. It don't look as bad as Spence and Crawford, probably because of the buildup with Spence and Crawford, but he got beat just as bad as Spence did.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
That was bad. Like he shouldn't have touched the mat that many times. And it was the same punch.
The
I can
same
see if he was
exact punch
catching him
since
with an
the first
uppercut or
round.
something. Yeah. And you was controlling the fight for almost what 4 or 5 rounds? Like you was controlling the fight. You bounced back. You had a championship, that champion pedigree in you. And you was fighting back, and then you just let him take over. Then that 12th round was sad. He running around doing all the crazy stuff, licking his tongue
Yeah,
out. Like,
dancing and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, if you Devin, man, just go to
Hey,
the next fight. Make sure that you call up. I mean, if Shakur want to make it happen with Shakur. I mean, you gotta
no,
tell
they
me about
wouldn't.
some
So
more people that's in
he
the weight
wouldn't fight
class. So
Shakur. He wouldn't go down to fight Shakur because Shakur now wouldn't be worth the value to him. But one thing I do say he should continue to do is he could fight his mandatory, and
who's
that
that?
would be Sander Martin. That would be his mandatory. I believe WBC, that would be his WBC mandatory to be sure. But I think he should go ahead and do that. Get this fight is mandatory. Keep chasing the belts. Get a couple more tune-ups and work on defending. The left. You gotta keep your hand on. You gotta keep the phone up. You gotta pick the phone up. You gotta keep it up
The
to
money
defend
phone.
against that left. And another thing is just don't another thing he has to do is focus on preparation, and
There we
also I
go.
believe Devin fell victim to thinking that Ryan wasn't preparing any type of way for him. I also think that as well.
He pulled a
Because
Drake.
all the antics.
He pulled a Drake.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you mean Drake? Hold on. What do you
Drake
mean?
wasn't fully prepared for what Kendrick was about to do, and then he went out there with the two
Yeah.
diss tracks, and now look at him now.
Yeah,
Everybody
no,
screaming OV, and I ain't gonna finish it. It's a family
yeah,
show.
no, I finished. Yeah.
so, so that's what I'm saying. Now I think that too. I think his father kind of let the foot off the gas a little bit too in training camp after all those antics. I think they were like, man, he not taking this serious. Then he came in the weigh in with the beer. At the end of the day, you never underestimate your opponent. So that's a bad look
Exactly.
on their camp. That's why I'm with Tay. Devin just need a tune up. Don't chase the rematch. Let that go, man. It is what it is. PEDs or not, you just gotta let this one go.
Exactly.
Hold up, we'll say right here. Devin need to lift. He needs more power. I mean, Frank Martin lifting a lot, and we see what's about to happen to him. But we'll talk about that on another episode.
No, Devin definitely needs power to continue to going up in weight. But where he's at now, I think he need to find more defensive techniques
There we
because
go.
his punching resistance is low. He needs to find more defensive techniques that's going to work for him. That's going to help him get hit less.
And if we really want to talk about it too, I agree with that. And let's add to this just a little bit. If you go back and watch that Loma fight, if Loma had the power that Ryan had, it's night night. Remember what
You are
happened in the
absolutely right.
remember what happened in the corner? He was like, man, I feel like he know everything I'm about to do. Yeah, because he's
Exactly.
prepared.
Yep. If Loma had just a little bit more power, or maybe just another round, it would have been over.
Yeah, yeah, that was bad. That was bad. But one thing we will say is it's not bad.